All right, let's get to the business of sending auction purchases and donations from ClickBid to Neon. We've gone through the process of updating bidders if we had somebody in ClickBid that was not in Neon or not updated in Neon. We also went through the process of importing bidders from Neon. If, for instance, you created a campaign, added a bunch of folks to it, and you wanted to import them into ClickBid. But now we've completed our auction and we need to get that data back into Neon. So what I like to do is go to the Event Central tab and then Event Payments. This page shows me people who have paid and haven't paid. So we broke it down into unpaid and paid. Unpaid, you really want this to be empty. When you're ready to start sending things back to Neon, you really want everybody to be paid. The only sales you can send to Neon are paid checkouts. So you can see here I have 4 individuals and I have a range of items that were purchased or donated, and they've been completely checked out. Their totals and so on are listed here. You can also see receipts and re-email receipts and so on. All right, now let's go to BidKit and let's click on Export Sales. In the Export Sales, you can see here that I have a list of sales that can go back to Neon. But interestingly, I have, let's say, 7 things here, but in ClickBid, I only have 4 people. So what's the difference? Okay, well, in this case, I have 4 individuals, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that were purchased. The way we handle that in exporting to Neon is that we break them all down into individuals. So for instance, let's see here. Tom Testerson, for instance, has a fund a need. And Tom Testerson has an Architect gripper wood cutting board. Harry Bosch has a Craftsman 100-piece drilling driving kit and a fund a need. That way you can choose which items you want to send back to Neon and which you don't. This, for instance, is a fair market value item, and the fund a need is a straight donation. But we still have one extra item, this Matt Burnell donation. Where did that come from? Okay, well, we do have 2 other types of payments in ClickBid that can be included to your exports to Neon. And those would be ticket sales, and they would also be online donations, our text to give system. Throughout the entire year, you can receive donations through text messages and through an online donation form that are separate from your silent auctions. To see those, you would just go to Manage Donations under the Text to Give Donations tab, and you can see here that there's a Matt Burnell, $207.26, which is including the CCPs, and then it's complete. And so that's why I have a donation in here for that amount. So we've got these. We want to send them to Neon. How do we make that happen? Well, I have a column here called Neon CRM Match. This tells me which items I can go ahead and just push over to Neon right now. And I have one of them here that has contact ID listed. And so I'm going to click on Fund a Need for Susan Achterberg. And you remember in the previous demo, I linked her up with Neon before the event ended. So that's why we have a link here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that, and then I'm going to choose Export Sales. And it's going to ask me a couple of options in specific to Neon. I have to choose a campaign, and I want it to be the Hoop for or now let's do the Houseboat Gala. So I want to link that campaign in Neon. In the other 3 options are optional. Fund, I'm going to choose unrestricted. Purpose, these are all coming from your Neon account. We query these and find out what you have available. The purpose, I'm going to do new building, and then the source, I'm going to call this Fund a Need. Then I'm going to choose Export Sales. While we're waiting, we can go ahead and refresh this page, and it will start. It'll highlight, or actually it'll fade this out and show us that we're sending this over to Neon, and it's in the process. But actually, I have a check mark here, so you know what? It might be done already. Let's take a look at Neon. Through the magic of editing, I have Susan's record already pulled up. I'm just going to hit refresh here to refresh her record. And let's see, if we click on donations, you can see here that there is a Houseboat Gala, and we have a $300 transaction. And is that how much it was? $300. $300. Let's click on it. And we can see here that it was a check. It was done on the 2nd of September for $300, and it was for a fund a need. It was unrestricted, the new bill, everything's here. It even gives us the payment type, which was check. So now our record is properly loaded into Neon CRM. All right, let's now look at how we can export these other ones. So I have a Tom Testerson, but I don't have any matching CRMs records. So I'm thinking, well, how do I get this record over there? I can press this search icon and it will query Neon and say, hey, who do we have that can match Tom Testerson? So I have in what I found in Neon was a Joe Testerson. Okay, well, that's different. Let's say Joe took Tom's bidder record and actually did the donations. So we know, oh, yeah, that's the same person. So I'm going to choose Joe Testerson. And now I'm going to select that. And I'm going to export. And now it's going to, within the next 5 minutes, it's going to send that record over to Neon and then make it available in Joe's account. You can see here, it looks like it's already done. So we're really looking out. If I go to Joe Testerson and I want to take a look at Joe's donations, I can click on donations and I can see here there is a donation, $250, Houseboat Gala, bingo. And it has all the relevant information. Well, let's take a look now here at Matthew Merkins. This is an actual auction item. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a search here, and I'm going to try to match it up. And I see there's a Matthew Merkins, but oh, you know what? I need to create a new record because this is it's part of the same family, but I want to make sure that we get a new account in Neon called Matthew Merkins. So I'm just going to change it to new account. Then I'm going to select search on the one below it. And let's say, oh, I have a match, Harry Bosch. But let's say I didn't find a match and I wanted to link it to something completely different than a Harry Bosch. I could click the pencil icon and I could put in a number, any contact ID that I want in Neon. And where do you get those? Well, if I go, let's do a search for test again, and let's do Adam Test User. Adam Test User's ID is 2239, always next to their name. And if I just do a search for test and I get, let's see, show more maybe, and it gives me a list, I can see here there's their ID as well. So, we do a lot of testing in our account. And so you can grab their ID there as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose, let's just choose Harry Bosch here. And then I'm going to select these two, and we're going to go ahead and create a new record, Matthew Merkins, and we're going to link the Craftsman 100-piece drilling kit to Harry Bosch. Let's export, and I'm just going to hit send. Now, again, this is going to send in the next 5 minutes. We've been really fortunate that it's been happening a lot faster than that. So let's just refresh, and boom, looks like they've all gone already. That's crazy. So how do we test and see, or check and see? I'm going to do a search for Harry Bosch and bring up his record and do donations. And I can see here that we do have a donation and it's for $0. Well, wait a second, what's up with that? So if we look at this, Harry paid $20, but the fair market value is $55. So if I take a closer look, I have an in-kind here, and a fair market value is 20. So I show here that he actually made an in-kind donation for $20. Now, if I go to Matthew Merkins, I can see here, hey, created on September 2nd, we have a new person, and Matthew has 2 donations, and I have here, I have an in-kind payment, and I have an other payment. Well, how does that work? So if I take a look at this 3-tier mount sports rack, I can see here that I paid $35 for this item, but it was worth $25. So I made a $25 in-kind donation, in-kind purchase, and what was left was $10. So in Neon, we're showing that you made a in-kind of $25, and then you made a single donation of $10. And again, we put the item name in here so that way you know, we put the item number as well, and that way everything is listed the way it should be.